Welcome back to Elements of Art in our unit on shape. I'm Natasha and I have another art question for you. Or is it a math question? Today I have a question about geometric shapes. In art, there's such a thing as geometric shape, but geometric shape also exists in geometry, which is a branch of mathematics. So maybe I have a math question for you today? Well, anyway, do you know any geometric shapes? As we learned in the last lesson, a shape is a flat, enclosed space. Today, we are going to focus on geometric shapes. Geometric shapes are found in many things that we encounter in our daily life. For example, pizzas and pies are perfect examples of circles. The pattern on a soccer ball is composed of pentagons and hexagons. Doors and windows are rectangles, and more. In today's lesson, we will learn what characteristics define geometric shapes, identify some common geometric shapes, discover 3 art movements that feature geometric shapes, and discuss how to make tessellations. There are many mathematical terms and equations to know when it comes to geometric shapes, like the Pythagorean theorem or Fibonacci sequence. But in art, the way that we use and discuss geometric shapes is quite different. A geometric shape is a two-dimensional enclosed space that is defined by mathematical principles. Geometric shapes are characterized by straight or specially curved lines, angles, and specific measurements. Geometric shapes are often referred to as man-made shapes because they must adhere to specific rules of construction. These special rules allow geometric shapes to be easily measured and described using mathematical formulas. Some common geometric shapes used in art include circles, squares, triangles, rectangles, hexagons, and more. In art, geometric shapes are often used to create a sense of structure, balance, and order in a composition. Some artists use these shapes to create minimalistic and non-objective compositions, while others use them in more representational works to convey a sense of stability. Let's take a look at a few artworks. They include The Cow by Theo van Doesburg, Untitled by Kazimir Malevich, and Stained Glass Windows by Victor Vasarely. Each of these demonstrates a heavy use of the element of shape, specifically geometric shape. We'll return to these shortly and identify some of the visible shapes. So while this is not a math class, we should just take a quick look at the rules of construction for geometric shapes for just a little review. You can tell different geometric shapes apart by looking at their unique features. For example, a square has 4 equal sides and 4 right angles, while a rectangle has 2 pairs of equal sides and 4 right angles as well. A triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles, while you'll notice that a circle or an oval has a rounded shape and no sides or angles. By observing these distinct characteristics, you can easily identify and differentiate between different geometric shapes. Let's go back to those artworks that we viewed earlier. See what geometric shapes you can identify in each and fill out the table in your lesson notes. Pause the video and take your time. So how do you feel the geometric shapes contribute to the overall composition of a piece of art? How can different combinations of geometric shapes create different feelings or emotions in a piece of art? There are a few more images in your lesson PDF to look over and consider regarding the use of geometric shapes in artistic compositions. You can check them out after the video. Geometric shapes have been widely used in art throughout history, and several art movements have placed a particular emphasis on the use of them as a primary design element. Some notable examples include Cubism, Minimalism, and Suprematism. Cubism. Cubism was an art movement that originated in the early 20th century and is often associated with artists like Pablo Picasso and Georges Braque. It involved the use of geometric shapes to create abstract representations of objects and scenes. Cubist artists rejected traditional forms of representation, and they sought to create a new visual language by breaking down objects into geometric forms and reassembling them in a fragmented way. The term cubism was coined by an art critic who used it to describe the geometric style of the paintings. Minimalism. Minimalist art often uses simple geometric shapes, such as squares and rectangles, to create compositions that emphasize simplicity and order. Minimalist artists may use shapes to create repetition, balance, or other visual effects. The minimalist art movement is often associated with the notion that less is more. Minimalism was also influenced by ideas from other disciplines, such as mathematics. Suprematism. Suprematism was an art movement that emerged in Russia in the early 20th century and is often associated with Kazimir Malevich. It involved the use of basic geometric shapes such as squares, circles, and rectangles to create abstract compositions. Suprematist artists felt that by reducing art to basic geometric shapes and colors, they could create a new visual language and connect with people on a deeper level. Cubism, minimalism, and suprematism all explored the use of shape in their respective art movements. In Cubism, artists broke down objects into geometric shapes and reassembled them in a fragmented way. Minimalist artists, on the other hand, reduced their works to their most essential elements, often using simple geometric forms. In suprematism, artists used basic geometric shapes to create a new visual language based on pure abstraction to convey a sense of spiritual purity and transcendence. Overall, each movement used geometric shapes to explore new ways of seeing and understanding the world, pushing the boundaries of traditional art forms and paving the way for new forms of artistic expression. Tessellations. Have you ever heard of them? In a tessellation, an artist uses geometric shapes in a repeating pattern that fit together without any gaps or overlaps. The shapes in a tessellation can be any polygon, including triangles, squares, hexagons, etc. But they must fit together seamlessly to create the pattern. Tessellations can be found in nature, such as in honeycombs or reptile scales, and are often used in art, design, and architecture to create visually interesting patterns. Tessellations can be created using traditional methods, like paper and pencil, or with computer software. Let's do a simple paper-based demonstration to get a better idea of how one is made. To create a tessellation, start by choosing a regular polygon, such as a square or triangle. Then, draw a copy of the polygon next to the original one, making sure that the edges of the two polygons are touching. Continue drawing copies of the polygon next to each other, always ensuring that the edges touch and that there are no gaps or overlaps. To make the tessellation more interesting, you can add different colors or textures to the polygons. You can also use different types of polygons, such as hexagons or trapezoids, to create more complex patterns. What do you think about tessellation designs? What sort of effect do they create for you? As we've seen, geometric shapes, while mathematical, are an important part of art. We discussed the characteristics that define geometric shapes and looked at some of the common ones. Additionally, we explored how artists use the geometric shape to add structure and balance to their artistic compositions. We introduced 3 art movements that heavily feature geometric shapes. And lastly, we learned the fun artistic technique of tessellations. Learning about geometric shapes is fun, and it gives you new visuals to look for, as you remember that art is all around you.
Hey, hey.